Hey guys, I hope that all of you are doing great. This quote you might have heard, every one of us have heard: time and tide waits for none. How can this quote really be helpful in our life? And I believe like it can be a secret to achieving our any kind of goal. Let's say your goal is to become probably the world famous. Your goal is to become multi-millionaire, whatever. Time and tide waits for none. I always used to be surprised by some of the quotes, which was like very obvious, like time and tide waits on. Of course, like when we heard it for the first time, we're like, of course, time moves on. So what's the point of even saying it? And as well as many other quotes, but a lot of quotes really have a deep meaning. Sometimes it summarizes your experiences of a decade or 2 decade or entire life sometimes. And I believe that's why these phrases came into existence, because the wise people who have had experiences, they really gave it in a short sentences, short words, and people happen to relate to it with a real life experience, and that's how it got famous. So this time and tide waits for none. Why I'm putting so much importance to it? If you will try to see, each one of us in this room, if we try to see from our past experiences of our life, if you try to see from the beginning of your life, always there was something, some kind of event happening which seemed to be very significant, which seemed to be so much significant that it drew us into it. Let's say we were in a sixth standard, fifth standard, however, like whatever, fifth grade, you can say, 10th grade. If you'll actually go into that moment, try to remember what was happening around, you will find some sort of things, maybe with your parents, some function was happening, some sort of things were happening around you, some sort of things were happening within your friend circle. It kept on occupying you, which seemed as if, or even let's say the school studies that you were supposed to do, or somebody else telling you, okay, this is the most important thing. And of course the grades and the school studies were important. So some sort of external occupation, people telling it, the environment telling you, surroundings dictating you, told you that okay, this is the most important thing, and you drew into it, you kept on doing it. Now in the present day and age, at present, whatever let's say you wanted to become, let's say the actor that you once dreamt. Okay, I want to become the world's best actor. Oh, I want to become let's say a billionaire. Oh, I want to become a sports person, athletic person, whatever that your goal might have had been at that point of time. It was sabotaged by the external environment because it made you to believe that okay, this is the thing that we are supposed to do. But as it says, time and tide waits for none. That whatever external things are happening, time and tide does not take an excuse. It will keep on moving. Some people who also had this external influence, or sometimes like they were lucky that external influences were in favor, but they had made a sacrifice. They knew that this is the most important thing right now. They knew probably they would become going out there onto the field at the age of let's say 10 years. He of course like he knew that the reward is not going to be instant. He's going spending all his day, otherwise like what he could have, rather than probably hang out with his friends or study for his grades or do xyz thing, and they would become just one of the example, many other people as well, that this thing is really required. Because am I going to get, like let's say a week later I'm going to make so much money out of it, or probably a week later I'm going to be selected into a club, probably years down the line it might happen, it's not even a guarantee. So let me just focus on to the current thing. But rather he chose to sacrifice the current occupations. He kept on going because that was the most important thing for him, to keep on going every day, every single day, probably every single week you can say. But he never stopped. And had this been our attitude, let's say we wanted to become an actor or whatever, everything in the current situation drawing us to a certain thing, we would have skipped that. We would have dealt with that as well, but we would have always taken out the time for that most important thing that is going to make us reach our goal. And because we were not able to do it, we are not sitting in that same position right now. So we can now take the inspiration from this. All our life, we never respected this. Time and tide waits for none. Right now, can we respect this? Yes. Oh, I have a job and I get really tired after the job. How do I work after the working hours? Oh, I have a family to take care of. Oh, I just left with like 3 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm just left with like one weekend, and you want me to just sacrifice myself for my bigger goal, which I might do it, I might not do it. Or you have worked, I've already worked so hard, you want me to work probably this hard, or probably take this action. But let me tell you guys, there is a guarantee. If you do not take the action in that direction and do not take the learning from the past, time and tide waits for none. It is again going to be same pattern. So you need to respect that, and that's how you'll achieve it. Wish you guys thank you.